Yeah, and there's a reason why I'm on this side and you're on that side. Give me that side. Cut the music. Cut the music. It's Sunday. WrestleMania 36. 1 fan, 2 fan, 3 fan, no fans. It doesn't matter. What matters is that WrestleMania 36, I'm leaving the same way I walked in, with my championship. Ladies and gentlemen, WrestleMania 36 is coming. And this is the final stop. Preview, predictions. Didn't read the spoilers? Don't tell me the spoilers, because if you tell me the spoilers, you're getting blocked. If you told me in January that WrestleMania was going to be hosted in front of no fans on multiple nights, pre-recorded, and Roman Reigns was not going to be in a championship match, I would ask you to find or seek some assistance for your mental insanity. But here we are. We are 24 hours away from WrestleMania night number 1, which I thought was a huge mistake, but when you understand the virus and how everything's working, you kind of understand why they chose to do that. And it is time for the preview and predictions. I always do these usually Thursday or Friday before the pay-per-view. I have not had one of these in quite a while. It's been at least a month and a half since Elimination Chamber. But we are here, and whether you're excited or not, WrestleMania is coming. And believe it or not, it actually already happened, but not to us. Now, I feel like before I begin, this show is going to be all over the place. I think there's going to be a lot of matches that are just not interesting. I think there are going to be a lot of matches that are very good, better than you expected. And I think that there's going to be matches where they had the potential to be good, but they're not good because they don't have a crowd. That is the number one thing for me. It is not so much, the matches themselves. It is the crowd aspect of it, especially for a show like WrestleMania. We know that in the history of wrestling, we have so many shows that don't have, we have shows where the crowds are dead and it just sucks the life out of it. I feel like when you have a good crowd in any wrestling show, it elevates it to another level. And that's why the Attitude Era was so popular. But today, I'm not talking about the Attitude Era, even though I wish I was. I am talking about WrestleMania. Now, there is one more WWE-related show before WrestleMania, and that is SmackDown tonight. And one of the things I want to address beforehand is Roman Reigns obviously not going to be at WrestleMania. Now, from WWE's standpoint, they haven't addressed officially who's going to be in the match, but we're pointing at 99% Braun Strowman is going to be in the match. So that is the match I'm going to preview, is Goldberg versus Braun Strowman. Now, again, if that alters or things change, this video, it's not tainted, but it's a little bit different. But I'm going to take a leap of faith, and I'm going to say that they're going with Braun Strowman to be Roman Reigns' replacement going forward. So the matches here, I'm reading off of CBS Sports, okay? They're not in order, but the more I go down the line, the bigger the match usually is, because the last match I think I saw on here was McIntyre versus Lesnar, and I'm going to preview that for you as well. But the first match I want to preview is the Kabuki Warriors putting their women's tag team titles on the line against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Now, the Kabuki Warriors, to me, have not been awful with their women's tag team titles, but I don't feel like they've done what they're capable of doing. I don't feel like Asuka and Kairi Sane have really gotten to that level. And I just think Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross have been given a lot more television time, and they've been more in a prominent role. You can say what you want about, I guess, Alexa Bliss. Nikki Cross is great, but she WWE, I don't want to say they're ruining her, but she does not have that it factor. And this happens to a lot of superstars. She does not have that it factor that she had on NXT going forward. But I just have a feeling that they're going to switch this up, and I'm going to pick Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross to win the women's tag team titles in this match. I think that it would freshen things up and give it an alternative. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, but I think that there is, to a certain extent, they do kind of work together well a little bit. Again, they're not the greatest. Nikki Cross does have a special it factor to her, but again, WWE does not really capitalize on that, and that's a lot of problems. Or one of the things that they don't do with a lot of different superstars is they don't capitalize on their special abilities. And that was in my video the other day where I said the problem about WWE. Now, this right here on paper is a house show match, but it actually has a storyline that a lot of people are actually thinking was interesting, and I think so too. Otis is going to fight Dolph Ziggler at WrestleMania. This is a regular normal match. And the storyline, honestly, behind this is Otis having this love-like fantasy for Mandy Rose, and just kind of coming up short every time. And then as this story went on, Dolph Ziggler became a cock block to Otis getting Mandy Rose. And if I'm correct, this is their first time going at it with one another. And believe it or not, a lot of people may not look forward to this match. And I'm not going to say I'm the most excited, but I think that the storyline around it has actually been built pretty decent. So I'm actually going to say that you definitely have to have Otis have this win. And again, this is one of those matches where I feel like the crowd would have a genuine pop if Otis won. And I think that that's the right thing to do right here. It's not going to turn into, I don't know if it's going to turn into a Randy Savage, Miss Elizabeth kind of thing. But maybe you have Mandy Rose at ringside and you have her kind of walk away with whoever wins. And you have Otis, look like he's going to lose the match. And at the end, he finally gets the win. I don't really know how much of how long this match is really gonna go. I can't imagine this match going that long, but I feel like this is one of those matches where if actually the longer it went, the better it could be. Otis and Dolph Ziggler do have very different styles in the ring. Ziggler is more, kind of flippy era. What's the word for it? I lost it. Just more agile, and Otis is powerful and build on strength and building up speed, but he does not, I don't know if he'll mesh well with Dolph Ziggler, but I definitely think that this is a feud that'll actually continue past WrestleMania, but I'm definitely going to think Otis gets the win here. Again, it does not make sense to have Dolph Ziggler win this match whatsoever, but I definitely think Otis is the right person in this match. This next match doesn't need to happen, and it was literally thrown together for no purpose or soul or reason whatsoever, and that's Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley is boring. He's stale. He's not exciting, and he has not been involved in anything of any WWE importance in probably the last 6 to 8 months. The storyline with Lana was absolutely terrible. One of the worst storylines probably on wrestling in recent years. Aleister Black is a completely different animal. He's fantastic in the ring, and he has this presence to him that is just very unique and special. And I think that he is worth so much more than a match with Bobby Lashley. Now, I will cut them the slack here, which I really shouldn't, but I'll cut them the slack a little bit just because it's WrestleMania and all of this is going on. But again, at the same time, Aleister Black is capable of so much more. And having a match, I would have loved to have seen him fight somebody like Cesaro, somebody like Buddy Murphy again. They had great matches. Just Aleister Black is definitely going to win this match. There's almost no doubt in my mind. And God forbid that this ends screwy and it continues into a feud. I'll probably shoot myself. But Aleister Black has to win this match, okay? You will not have him lose to Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania, and you shouldn't have him lose to Bobby Lashley in general. This is a bathroom break match, and it will be a very short-lived match, I think. The next match is another match where this is where we get to some of the matches in the show that aren't interesting. Elias and King Corbin, okay? This match came out of nowhere when Mr. Corbin threw Elias off of a stand on SmackDown, and actually the cinematic version of that looked really good, actually. He threw him off of that, and all of a sudden, now this is a WrestleMania match. Somebody said something here, and I'm actually going to agree with it. They said that this feels like it would be a moment where Gronkowski gets a physical altercation in the show and assist Elias. So I'm going to actually go and say that this is exactly what I think is going to happen, especially with what happened on SmackDown. They are predicting for Rob Gronkowski to interfere in the Elias Corbin match and assist Elias with the win. Had this been a normal match, I would say King Corbin would have this by a long shot, but I'm actually going to go with that exact prediction, which is not really mine, so copyright it on CBS Sports. But I think that Gronkowski is going to actually get involved in this match, and he's going to assist Elias with the win. Again, this will be another short match. I am not interested in any of the two matches that I just mentioned from that standpoint. Tag Team Championship on the line again. It's the Street Profits. Now, this is different. We know that Andrade could have a legitimate injury, or he's just one of those people guarding himself against the virus. But Andrade is not going to be in this match. It's going to be for the Raw Tag Team titles. It's going to be the Street Profits, who have had nice showings over the last recent weeks, going against Angel Garza and a new, young and fresh Austin Theory. A lot of people are telling me that Austin Theory reminds them of a young John Cena, and absolutely. Raw Tag Team titles, Street Profits versus Angel Garza and Austin Theory. Now, I think based on popularity, a lot of people would like to see Austin Theory and Angel Garza win, but I don't think that they're going to quite get there yet. I do have, when it's all said and done, I do think the Street Profits are going to hang on to their Raw Tag Team titles, just because, I think this is actually going to be a really good match. I'm actually looking forward to this, the Street Profits, Angel Garza, and Austin Theory. It could be a little bit of a spot fest, but little things like that, um, just kind of just what I'm looking forward to. There's nothing wrong with a spot fest, but it doesn't need to be a spot fest the whole match. I think Angel Garza and Austin Theory are going to have a nice showing, but I don't think that they're going to come away with the tag team titles, because then I don't feel like they thought this through completely, but that is exactly where I'm going with. From one end of a tag team title to another one, this could be a really good match, actually. It's for the SmackDown Tag Team titles, and they're actually adding a stipulation here, and it is a ladder match. It is The Miz and John Morrison, the current champions, defending their titles against the New Day versus the Usos. The New Day and the Usos are no shortage of classic tag team matches, and I think that when it's all said and done, the Miz and Morrison can put on a good match, even though we haven't seen them that much in action with their titles yet. But I think that this right here could be one of the better matches of the shows. I think that tag team wrestling, but again, one of the problems with me with these matches is I feel like this is going to be a match where the crowd, had it been there, would get so involved. This is a match where the crowd would really get excited. This is a crowd favorite match, not just because it's a ladder match, but because it's three teams that are unique and bring something different to the table, and all have amazing chemistry with each other, especially the New Day and the Usos. I think it's way too early to think about them dropping the titles, and when it comes to something like a ladder match, there's so many different variables that can happen. The match doesn't have to end clean. I definitely think the Miz and Morrison hang on to their SmackDown Tag Team titles, definitely in this match, but I do think that this is going to be a very fun match to watch, but I do think, again, you're going to see what a crowd really takes out of it, because the Raw and SmackDown shows I don't really count, because those were kind of just singles matches. But this is going to be your first show from a WWE standpoint where you see how important I think a crowd is. Unless they pipe in audio, again, they're going to have to do a lot of different things that are out of the box and just different and unique to the show. And, I think that they will, because I think a lot of times when we go into WWE expecting it to be good, it's awful. And when we think it's awful, it's going to be good. I'm not saying the show is going to be great, but I think that they have a chance to do something unique and different and be very creative. There's no crowd. There's so many different things that they can put into that. But the Miz and Morrison will retain their titles. Now, unless that this alters tonight, this could be the match of the night. And it is the Intercontinental Championship. It is Sami Zayn in a title defense in his first, maybe solo wrestling match. Again, I would have to look that off the top of my head. Taking on Daniel Bryan. Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan, let's just say in an NXT ring, is an instant 5-star match, because we know how capable they are of putting something special on. Again, this is another match that the crowd would feed and eat off of. Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan for a mid-card title. You doesn't get much better than that. This is very hard, because the thing is that they just gave Sami Zayn the title. And I don't think they want to have him be a transitional champ. But I think with the Daniel Bryan and Gulak storyline as well, there's more variables that you can add. And I honestly think, I hate to say it, but I think that Daniel Bryan is going to win the Intercontinental Championship. I just think that, I don't know what it is. Sami Zayn is kind of still working as a tag team. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong, because in a sense, I want Sami Zayn to retain. But this is one of those feuds where this is going to be a really good match. I would be shocked if it was anything less. But I'm just I'm very curious. This is one of those matches where I don't think it's that predictable. The Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan match should be a great match, but it's very difficult from a predictive standpoint, because I don't know exactly where they're planning on going with this. I want Zayn to retain, but for some reason I have it that that Daniel Bryan's going to take the title. Now, I don't know if Daniel Bryan's going to hold the title for long. Daniel Bryan could definitely benefit from a title, especially the whole Gulak storyline, but I'm going with Daniel Bryan to win the title. The next match has actually been building for a long time. The build has been good and bad, everything in between, and it's Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. Now, the thing with this match, to me, is I feel like And I don't know why, but with this specific match, I feel like the placement of it is going to be terrible. Because it's a match we've seen so many times over the last couple years where anything can happen and the result almost doesn't matter. If Seth Rollins wins, Seth Rollins wins. If Kevin Owens wins, Kevin Owens wins. They should have Kevin Owens. Well, I think Kevin Owens is going to win the match, but they should have it to the standpoint of where Kevin Owens wins the match, but it builds Seth Rollins to really get into a deep psychotic state and just become this psychotic character. Not like Dean Ambrose was in WWE, but just something along those lines. Have him go unhinged. And if you want to build this a long-term feud, you can, but they have to do it the right way. What we've noticed from the empty arenas, especially the go-home show for Raw, they did very good with their promos. The whole night, I don't know if that's because they had time to edit and tape and do certain things like that, but their promos on the show specifically were really good. The Undertaker's promo to open was fantastic. Edge's promo was phenomenal. Kevin Owens' promo was good. The week before, Seth Rollins' promo was great. So I say Kevin Owens wins, but they definitely have an idea to do something here. Just going forward. Now, the next match is another one that's difficult to predict. It's a SmackDown Women's Championship Fatal 5-Way match. Bayley, Sasha Banks, Naomi, Lacey Evans, and Tamina. Tamina was added to this. She returned to no reaction because nobody was there. Bayley is the current champion. They've missed out on so many opportunities to split up Bayley and Sasha and have them go one-on-one, where this could have been a women's title match for Bayley and Sasha in Tampa. They should have did it a couple years ago. I even said they should have did it a couple years ago in Orlando. This could have been a Bayley and Sasha feud. You had either Sasha or Bayley win the title. Whoever was holding it, so in this case it would be Sasha winning the title. Sasha Banks is so underutilized and misused in WWE. It is an absolute crime, okay? But that's not new to anybody here. What I think is going to happen is, right now, she hasn't been that bad with it. The women's division in wrestling hasn't been that great. I'm going to go with Bayley to retain the title. I know that those odds are very low. I believe she has a 20% chance in a fatal 5-way match. But I think her winning the title gives WWE their 85th chance to get this right. And they can go into SummerSlam and do something special with her and Sasha Banks. I'm going to go with Bayley to retain and win. And I think that there's going to be a point throughout this match where Bayley turns on Sasha, or Bayley uses heel-like tactics or whatever to eliminate Sasha from the match. And that is what is gonna spark plug their feud going forward. Okay, but Bayley is gonna retain this. I don't think any of these other women need the title. Lacey Evans, God forbid. Tamina she's just got back. Sasha doesn't need it yet. Naomi, yeah, you could give it to her, but I don't think it's necessary because, again, we need to build around that Bayley and Sasha Banks feud. Oh, man. The next match, NXT Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. If you put this match in an NXT arena, this will be a fantastic match. The problem is that we are talking about a WWE arena. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair for the NXT Women's Championship. I don't see the purpose of having Charlotte Flair win this match. She won the Royal Rumble. That didn't need to happen. Charlotte Flair is already established. There's no need for Charlotte Flair to beat Rhea Ripley. I don't see the reason why she would need to win. What would she do from the NXT Championship? She's not in NXT, and you certainly aren't sending her back down there, okay? Some people are thinking that Charlotte Flair is going to win this. Now, if you have Charlotte Flair win the NXT title, by default, you have to promote Rhea Ripley. I think she should be promoted already. She's just far, far above of a lot of other things there. Now, there are certain guys in NXT you never want to see leave. You know, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, they have more than enough talent to be on the main roster. But they are NXT, and that is why they're there. Rhea Ripley should win this and retain her NXT Women's Championship. I know it may be a hard pill for Vince McMahon to swallow, but Charlotte Flair does not need to go over Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, because to be honest with you, Rhea Ripley is better than Charlotte Flair, okay? Let's just be honest, okay? Oh, Charlotte does all these fancy things in the ring. Oh, she's so great. Rhea Ripley is better than Charlotte Flair, and I hate to tell you that. Okay. Rhea Ripley should win this. Very interested to see how this match goes. This should be an interesting match. We are closing in on the last couple of matches. And this preview is long because there is a lot going on. This right here is good shit. Raw Women's Championship. Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler. Okay. Becky Lynch has held the Raw Women's title since I was born. And now I think she's finally going to lose it. I think Shayna Baszler and Becky Lynch are going to put on a brawl. I don't think there's going to be a lot of wrestling in this match. I think this is going to be a very physical match. I think that this is going to be a match where a lot happens. I wouldn't be surprised to see. Now, they might not do this now because of the whole coronavirus and everything that's going on. Had this been a different situation, I would say that there'd be some type of blood in this match, unless it's fake blood. Well, they're not going to do fake blood, but if there's any type of blood in this match, it's going to be real. And again, it's hard to take some of this serious because a lot of this is taped. And we know WWE's predetermined, but it's a different aspect when the show's live, okay? They edit things out. They edit things they don't like. And that is just one of the things that bothers me because I want to see it in its organic format. Shayna Baszler is going to win the Raw Women's Championship here. And this is another good match. So this card is not awful, okay? It's just the situation of how this is all developed and not having a crowd. This is not a bad card. There's some matches on here that don't need to be on here. But I feel like, or from what I'm being told, I think that this is going to be the match that ends the show completely or ends the first night. You have to have Orton and Edge end at some point. We're going to get to that in a minute. Shayna Baszler is going to win this, and this is going to be a very brawl-like fashion match. Okay. This one right here. This has been the best-built feud in all of wrestling. And this feud has been built probably one of the best-built feuds in wrestling over the last 5 years. Okay, and that says a lot. Edge versus Randy Orton in a last man standing match. This right here, this feud alone is better than anything that we've seen on WWE in the last 2 years. No question. This Randy Orton is at a point right now where he is so on fire that I wouldn't even hate to see him. I would almost want him to win at WrestleMania because that would be so, like, how could you have him? But he won't. He won't. Edge has done great on the promos. He's done great on the mic. He's done great. The whole Beth Phoenix thing is what took it to that next level, and that's exactly what WWE needed to do, and that was one instance where they listened to their fans and they did what was right. This match is going to be just like the last one that I mentioned, but I think this is going to be a little bit more chaotic. I think we're going to see some things that we haven't seen in a long time. We may see Randy Orton whip out the punt. We may see him do different and a variety of things that we're not used to seeing Randy Orton do. Edge is going to win this match. Everything that he's gone through, everything of this, when it's all said and done, it's a last man standing match. It's not a pinfall. Edge is going to win this last man standing match. But it would be really interesting if Randy Orton won this match. That would be the ultimate plot twist, because I feel like Randy Orton's been, I don't even know who's done better building this feud. That's how good this feud has really been. But I feel like Edge has to win this match. The next 3 matches are your final 3 matches. And I saved these for last because A, they're at the bottom of the list, but B, they're probably the most matches with intrigue. And there's actually a lot more matches when you look at this card at the grand scheme of things with intrigue than you would probably think. John Cena versus The Fiend Bray Wyatt. The first time that this match was announced, John Cena came back. He was leaving the arena. The Fiend showed up. Okay, I'll see you at WrestleMania. Awful. But the way that they built this match, they put a story behind it that makes sense. They put the fact where Bray Wyatt was held back after losing to Cena at WrestleMania 30. I love how they brought that up. The Fiend, said that John Cena caused him to go to that place. After he went and gone psychotic, he caused him to go to that place. Okay? This right here is a good feud, but I would have really loved this feud if it happened 5 years earlier. Now, it did happen at WrestleMania 30, but I didn't want to see it that way. I wanted to see John Cena versus The Fiend 5 years ago, because this John Cena is just coming back to come back. This is in a Firefly Funhouse match. I'm going to assume this is something similar along the lines of a backstage brawl with Firefly-like setting. The Fiend will win this match. And I swear to God right now, if John Cena wins this match, there will be a storm coming Monday that the weatherman couldn't predict. Okay? The Fiend has to win this match. You had him lose to Goldberg, I'd rather vomit, okay? But Bray Wyatt has to win this match. Very interested to see how this match plays out. Bray Wyatt wins, that's my prediction. The Undertaker versus AJ Styles. AJ Styles made it personal. The Undertaker fired back with a beautiful promo on Monday night. This is a boneyard match, which is something along the lines of probably a graveyard match, which is something along the lines of a buried alive match. Now, the thing with here is that benefits The Undertaker because it does not have to be completely in a ring wrestling. I think that this match needed a stipulation to begin with because I don't see The Undertaker tangoing with AJ Styles in a ring in 2020. Most of us don't. I don't think that would play off well, but this gives The Undertaker a chance to use different things to his advantage and not look weak. The Undertaker will win this match, okay? There's no reason to have AJ Styles win, and to be honest, as phenomenal as he is, no pun intended, I don't think AJ Styles would actually beat The Undertaker. Even if Undertaker was in his prime, it's just not believable. I think that this would be a great match 7-8 years earlier. But again, I think there's no need to have AJ Styles win because you got to keep in mind if you have AJ Styles win, that what that does is that continues the feud. And Undertaker is not staying on television. Undertaker will win this match. There's a major change that has not played out yet for the Universal Championship. If you don't want to be spoiled, stop reading here. Well, it's too late. We already knew this was going to happen. The Universal Championship, Goldberg, Braun Strowman. No way in hell Braun Strowman wins this match. If he wins this match, we will riot as well. Goldberg will win this match, no question about it. It will probably be a squash match, and it will end very, very, very cleanly. Roman Reigns backed out, not him. So we know that the Roman Reigns and Goldberg feud is going to continue, and Goldberg's going to stay on TV a little bit longer. Goldberg retains the Universal Championship, the final match. This will probably be your main event of WrestleMania Night 2. It is Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. I think the best thing here is what we all think, and that is Drew McIntyre will win. Drew McIntyre cannot lose this. It's very unfortunate because Drew McIntyre is going to be winning this championship in front of a crowd of nobody. Nobody. But I think that when it's all said and done, there's no way in hell Brock Lesnar could win this. I wouldn't say that, but I think that the best thing to do would be to have Drew win. And that's what we're heading towards. But now, if you flip the script, this is the last thing I'm going to say before I go off. If you flip the script and you look at the alternative, you kind of look at what the small benefit of Lesnar retaining, because if Lesnar were to retain, you have the option of giving Drew the title in front of a crowd. Now, I don't think that this will all be cleared by the time they have their next pay-per-view, which is Extreme Rules, which is probably either the last week in April or the middle of May. But the one after that, hopefully we can get back by then, which is Money in the Bank. I'm still going with Drew McIntyre to win this championship, but I wouldn't be shocked to see Lesnar win it. Drew McIntyre is my final prediction. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoy WrestleMania. Thank you for watching. We have gone on quite a while on this right here, but I do appreciate everybody, as always, watching. Thank you so much. Enjoy.